Good morning, YouTube. How y'all doing today? Today is Thursday, January 12th, Transformation Thursday. Yep. It's a collab, although I'm not sure too many people still post. I will link the people down below that still post. Transformation Thursdays, if you're new, is the day that I talk about how God is transforming me, or has been transforming me in the last week. Today, I am going to do something slightly different. I feel like I should explain why I am a Christian, or how I ended up being a Christian. So I'm going to try to make this short and sweet, but I grew up in the church. When I was little and my mom was healthy, we went to church every time the doors were open. You know, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday, whenever the doors were open, we were there. And I, believed in God and, all that kind of stuff. In my late teens, I started slipping away. My mom was not healthy. I didn't really have a way to church, so I stopped going. In the process, over, 10, 12 years, I went as far away from Christianity as you could possibly think. I became involved in paganism, all that kind of stuff. And I'm only telling you this to let you know that I was the complete opposite of a Christian. Complete opposite. And I used to go into these chat rooms, and there were Christians that would come into the chat room too. And I give them credit, because they got beat up on a lot. They were like a target. People went after them because they were Christians. I grew up in the church, so I knew a lot about the Bible, and I used it as a weapon. There's just one particular person that, had an answer for everything that I did. He knew more than I did. And he suggested to me that I investigate myself. So I read a book called The Case for Christ, and the guy who wrote that book was an atheist when he started. And his premise was, is anything about, is there a God? And, is there a God? If there was a God, did he send his son? Is Jesus who he says he is? Did Jesus even exist? And so I started going down that path. And I'm trying to make a long story kind of short, but do the investigation yourself. You have to decide for yourself, does God exist? Well, most people deep down believe that God exists. You can pick whatever it is that you want. You can look at the facts, how the world exists, how we are, on Earth, how we are at the exact right place from the sun. Our Earth spins at the exact amount it should. We have the exact, kind of air that we need. All the intricacies. You can look at the human body and how it works. I mean, what we know, because we don't know as much as we think we do. And I couldn't. I acknowledged that there was a God. So, did Jesus exist? Again, do your own investigation. He did. There is empirical evidence that Jesus existed. So, C.S. Lewis said, if Jesus existed, he's one of three things. He's either he is who he says he is, he's crazy, or he's a liar. And again, I looked at empirical evidence, not just the Bible, but there is actual evidence that Jesus existed. So was he a liar? Was he crazy? Or was he who he says he was? Again, look into it yourself. But I'll tell you what I found. He was who he says he was. There's evidence that he was crucified and died. And there's evidence that he rose and he was walking around 3 days later. Evidence that not just in the Bible, which the Bible is a historical document and it is very extremely accurate. Also, do your research. And you can find out your own thing about that, but I have, and I know that the Bible is very accurate. So then it comes down to, if there's a God, Jesus is his son, he was crucified, he died, and he rose again, and you believe he is who he says he is, then the only choice is, where are you going to go when you die? When I looked at it, very unemotionally, I might add, I decided that if Jesus was who he says he was, he did what he said he was going to do, and he talked about hell. He talked about heaven, but he talked about hell more. I don't want to go to hell. So I decided unemotionally that I was going to be a Christian, because here's the thing. Even if everything, all the investigation that I've done was somehow wrong, and at the end of my life I'm wrong, I haven't lost anything. But if I picked the other, if I chose not to be a Christian, and I'm wrong, I spend all of my eternity in hell. And as long as we might think our lives are, eternity is forever. I don't want to live my life. I don't want to live my eternity in hell. And so I chose to be a Christian. Now my journey since then has been a very interesting one, but that is why I decided to be a Christian. So, tell me if you're a Christian. Tell me how you became a Christian, or why you became a Christian, because I know my journey is very different than most people. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. I will see you next week.